Hi, I'm Tony Stewart, General Manager here at SRC Tech. We at SRC are proud to be lead sponsors of Manufacturing Day and Manufacturing Month.
Hi, I'm Dave Freund, and I'm here with Bill Perrine. Bill works at CNS Engineers. And so, Bill, tell us a little bit about yourself, what kind of engineering you do, and tell us something about CNS.
Thank you, David. I appreciate that. I'm a senior project engineer at CNS Companies right in Syracuse. I've been here ever since I left college 14 and a half years ago. I went to West Genesee High School right in Camillus, New York. Grew up playing hockey. Loved the sport in the area. And I went to RIT in Rochester and came back to Syracuse right after. This is home for me. I think it always will be home. And now I get to practice, what I learned in school right here in the community. And I'll touch on that in a little bit.
Sure. Awesome. So why Central New York?
Why Central New York? I mean, I think for starters, it feels like home to me, but I love to change the seasons. I think the cost of living here for when kids graduate college, maybe not initially you're thinking about raising a family right off the bat, but to do that and, real estate prices are affordable for the most part. We have a very, steady market, I think, in that regard. The school districts are amazing. And we really do have a lot happening. I think often, Syracuse sometimes gets a bad rap because of the snow and the winters, but I say get out in it and do something, right? Be active.
Exactly. So when you went to West Genny, is that where you played hockey?
Yes.
What did you like about hockey?
I love the speed of it. It brings in a lot of different skill sets. It's, again, very fast paced, and there's a lot of moving parts in it. It's a very skill set kind of game, finesse kind of game, and very highly competitive. And of course, you get to hit when you're at a certain age too, so that's always fun.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So tell us, you graduated from West Genny. Did you go right to RIT?
I did.
So what kind of classes, if somebody wants to become, a senior project engineer, what kind of classes in school would they need to take in high school?
I would suggest in high school, anything that you can get, kind of in the STEM category, obviously your science and your maths, anything you can do to, I'd say, knock out your prerequisites in the calculus field would be helpful.
Okay.
If you have any electives available to you for, pre-entry level physics of some sort, in that regard. I also would stress, and when you think of an engineer, you don't typically think of this, but public speaking, writing, being able to convey what you know is critical. A lot of people don't get that. You can be brilliantly smart in your field, but if you don't know how to convey the message to people, it's an excellent skill set to have.
Wow, great. Thanks for sharing that. What did you like about RIT?
It was just, it's a great school, and the thing that set them apart from some other, there's other great engineering schools in New York State area and nearby states, is they do the co-op program or internship program. And it allows you, if you're the type of student that has always wanted to go across the coast and work on something in California, the opportunity is there to do that. You can try multiple firms, interview and select, and do 3-month and 6-month internships at these firms. And RIT requires, I believe, 15 months of experience as part of your engineering degree. It carries, it's a little bit different than a 4-year degree in the sense that, you've got that little bit of job experience before you really go out in the real world, so to speak. And that helped a lot, and that was attractive.
Sure. Okay, great. Thank you. And like you said, there's a lot of great schools. RIT is just one of the ones in New York State, but that co-op program really is excellent because you get to actually practice what you're learning.
Exactly.
In the real world.
Exactly. And I was just going to say quickly too that you get to learn some of those soft skills. You're
Right.
in an office environment, or maybe you're on a job site doing construction or whatever the case may be. You're meeting people, you're working with people. It's not just, passing tests and doing homework, so to speak. So it's a real strength with that.
Terrific. So tell us, you work for CNS,
Mhm.
senior project engineer. Any projects we've heard of that you've worked on?
Yeah, I'd actually love to share a few.
Please
So
do.
I think you're all familiar in the area with the Lakeview Amphitheater. We had a big involvement with that project, and it's obviously on the shores of Onondaga Lake, which, as you probably know, was highly polluted for several years. So it's nice to see that. And the community really puts the amphitheater up against any of the big concert venues in the nation. They're very proud of it. And it's just nice that, when you drive by it, or you've actually attended an event there, which I have several of, that you can walk in and say, wow, I kind of helped make this happen, did my little part. And that's rewarding because you're taking what you learned at school and you're actually applying it, and you're seeing it in the flesh, you're seeing it in the real world. That's what I like most. Another cool project I would share with you is we worked on the Novellis plant, which is up in Scribe, New York, and more of you would probably understand it as Oswego, New York. And they make the aluminum ingot rolls that are shipped to Detroit, Michigan, to the Ford Motor Company. So all the aluminum bodies on the F-150 trucks come right here from Oswego, New York. So again, every time you see one of those vehicles on the road, I personally own one, which is exciting. And I'm not a mechanical engineer by trade, so I don't know that realm, but it's just neat, again, to play a part in that and actually see that in the community.
Sure, absolutely. Well, thank you. That's exciting. I like seeing the transformation that's happened on the shores of Onondaga Lake, and seeing the lake being cleaned up. And there were lots of engineers that were involved in the cleanup of the lake. And to think that, now we can go fishing in there, we can go boating in there. There's new boat launch on the west side of the lake. That's awesome.
Yep.
And thank you for your efforts in bringing that amphitheater to life. Because it's got to be great to drive past something that once was a field and slowly becomes a building.
Right.
So when you're at the venue, what do you like best about it?
I guess I would say to see, a real positive outcome out of an area that was always so scrutinized, so criticized for being such a dirty lake. And, to see taxpaying dollars, going to something that everybody can appreciate. Not everybody agrees with every single project that's done in the community. And, as an engineer, I'm just a civil, but there was so many different engineers involved with a project like that. Opportunities for electrical engineers, structural engineers. There's environmental permitting that we had to go through. The Syracuse Creek Walk is connected to that project. And so you're not just applying everything that you learned in school, it's working with these public agencies, and again, being able to talk to people and being able to, convey what you know.
Sure.
Enough.
So Bill, you touched on the fact that you are technically a civil engineer. So if I'm in high school, tell me, what does a civil engineer do that's different from the mechanical or the electrical engineer?
That's a great question, David. Civil is, when you hear that term, it's actually very broad in the sense, because civil embodies a lot of different subdisciplines, I guess I would call it, within engineering. We work on everything from airports to highways and bridges, so there's just a transportation aspect of it. We do structural things, be it, foundations for commercial buildings, parking garages, when you think of that type of thing. We have the environmental piece, that falls in. So if you're somebody that really cares about the environment, there's opportunity there. And a lot of the stuff that I do is in the site development and municipal world. And when I say the word municipal, it's a lot of your public entities and utility infrastructure. So new water mains, new sewer mains, those transmissions that, convey the services that we use every day, the water we drink, eat, all that stuff.
Wonderful. So if, are there jobs for civil engineers or engineers in Central New York?
Yeah, absolutely. There's, when I was fresh out of college, there's a high demand, and then I would say it may have peaked off for a little bit, but right now we can't find great engineers. It's highly, the demand is highly sought after.
Great. Anything else that you think a young person might need to know? Any advice you could give them?
Keep working hard. Hard work does pay off. Have fun in college, but also, be disciplined.
Sure.
And I think it's, the engineering field, whatever, sector you'd want it to go into, it's a highly rewarding career.
Okay.
I think it's very supportive in the sense financially. You're not going to be a multimillionaire per se, but you'll have a very good standard of living, support a family, all that stuff.
Great. So one thing I thought of as you were talking about that, so let's say I'm a young person that I think I want to go into engineering, but I'm not sure. So is there a path where a student could, let's say, start out at a community college level like OCC?
Absolutely. And I think, and even at RIT, I personally went for 4 years, and I actually, in hindsight 2020, kind of wish that I had gone to a entry level, or community school for the first 2 years. And don't ever let anybody tell you that there's something wrong with that, because, I think you'll hear a lot that the first 2 years of college, you're taking a lot of entry level courses, prerequisites. You're taking history, you're taking math, you're taking science. You may take English classes, what have you. So you're building the core classes, before you really concentrate in the engineering field.
Okay.
So in a lot of the, some of the core classes do gear you up for engineering, but a lot of them are transferable. So I would encourage you to, if you are looking at the community school route, to talk with your guidance counselor, maybe talk with the department at the college, and make sure that those courses will transfer.
Okay, great. And is there also potentially a path where somebody with an associate degree could get a job with a company and then go back to school while they're working for somebody to get an engineering degree?
Yeah, I think absolutely. The entry-level position that you may have might be slightly different because you don't have typically those core classes of engineering that you would have if you had finished the second 2 years. Yep. But you could have on-job training, on-site training, and a lot of firms will, if you do work hard and do right by them, will help support you financially going back to school.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's obviously a positive thing too.
Sure, that tuition reimbursement piece that can mean so much to somebody.
Yes.
Terrific. Well, Bill, thank you so much for giving us this time. And every time I drive by the amphitheater, I'm going to think of you.
Very good.
Great.
Awesome.
Take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, David.